Hello everyone, Chris Smith here. Make sure you tune in to Boxing Bros UK.
Hello everybody, this is Boxing Bros UK here. I am the host Chris, and this is my co-host Andrew, the boxing brain.
Yes.
Today is David Adeleye, Filip Hrgovic fight preview. Boom, boom. Take it away.
Interesting matchup, this one, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'll go quickly through their records and stuff. Adeleye 14-1, 13 knockouts. 28 years of age. Not been the most active since turning pro. And obviously Hrgovic, who's flattered to deceive a bit, as we know, 18-1, 40 knockouts, 33 now. I'm going to start with Adeleye first, Chris. I know you've got a lot to discuss, got some strong opinions on David Adeleye.
Yeah.
Just be careful because we might have to interview him again. So don't go too mad.
No, you're going to put a card for that interview. When he was fighting Solomon Dakers, and I said, "But don't you want to avenge your loss against Fabio Wardley?" I thought he was going to chin me. Like, look, it pissed him off.
That's always a danger,
isn't it? And it didn't even it was just an honest question, like, "Why are you fighting this guy? Why aren't you fighting Wardley?" Basically, in a nice way.
I got that.
He didn't like it.
I got that type of frosty response from Dev Sani recently, but I'm not going to be as scared of Dev Sani as you are David Adeleye. That's the thing, isn't it? All due respect to Dev Sani.
To be honest, I guarantee that Dev Sani can get you banned from all the press conferences, and I bet you Adeleye cannot.
Yeah, so I need to, but it's just one of, sometimes you get difficult interviews. It is what it is. So Adelaye's coming off of two decent wins against Dakers and TKV, although how good are Dakers and TKV? Dakers had a decent win against Serenko last time out, but he's flattered to deceive a little bit, in my opinion. Does David Adeleye throw enough?
Well,
because he's very reactionary, isn't he?
No, he does not throw enough. This isn't new either. I followed David Adelaye's career from as soon as he turned pro, because I'm sad and I watch all the undercard fights on all the shows, and he was always on there.
We love it.
Yeah. I heard he'd been sparring Tyson Fury, giving a swag, and then all his fights, even against the journeyman, were like he didn't hardly throw in them, but he just worn them down. And some of these fights against journeyman, like 6 rounders, he didn't even knock out. He went distance. And there was one that this patiently waiting to find that right punch, and it doesn't happen. I think it's Sovolowski or someone. That journeyman who always gives a good, I think it's Sovolowski, and he lost that fight. It was given a draw, or I think he won it, but it was a dodgy decision. And that was against the journeyman. He didn't avenge that loss and show, no, that was me taking it easy. Let me show you how good I am. Moved on. And I think that's what he's done again. He's had another shaky win, debatable, like if it should have been a win, and then he's moved on to a higher level that he ain't ready for.
Yeah, no, decent answer, actually, because that was always my, I watched him quite closely in that fight. It was a bit of a controversial win, wasn't it, against TKV? But it's just his punch output just seems to be, I don't know whether he's trying to navigate the rounds, but does he sort of second guess his gas tank? Does he got that kind of AJ problem that sometimes in his early career where he's coming in too heavy? I don't know. I think we'll see a bit more in this fight because Hrgovic is a big test, which leads me on to my next question. This is a huge step up. You take the Wardley fight out, and we still don't really... All right, Wardley got the win against Hooney, but we still don't really know where kind of Wardley's at yet, do we? This is a massive step up. Hrgovic is a top 10 operator. At one stage, people felt he was going to be the next heavyweight champion. Is this good matchmaking, Chris? Yes or no?
This is... If I'm Frank Warren, it depends how you look at it. If I'm... How are you phrasing it? Am I David Adelaye's... just his manager? Imagine I'm like Sam Jones and I only manage David Adeleye. I got nothing to do with any other fighters. But if I'm Frank Warren, I can think I can use him as a piece in my board. Like,
I see where you're going.
You know what I mean? If I'm David Adelaye's manager, no one else's, this is terrible matchmaking. This is a really, really bad fight. He talks a good game, but you got to back it up in the ring. And you got to be like a lion. If you don't win good and everyone thinks you lost, you need to go and correct that. Say what you want about Floyd Mayweather. Anyone said, oh, that was a bit close. He ran it back and he showed them what the masterclass was, like he did with Maidana.
I think what you're trying to say, because I like what you're saying there, is that David Adeleye needs a statement performance, doesn't he? But Hrgovic, I'm struggling to see how he's going to win there. I agree with you on this because I wonder what's in Frank, and I'd love to have interviewed him around this because I'd never admit it, I'm sure, but is he cashing him out? Does he not know what to do with him? I'd like to know what's in Frank Warren's head with this because I'd have liked to have seen the Dave Allen fight. I think that's a 50-50 fight at this point. The rematch with TKV. I don't want to get into all the politics of why that's a kind of separate video, but all those sorts of fights that could have happened in around that level. He's kind of gone from there, lost to Fabio Wardley, as we know, and he's stepping right up to a top 10 operator in Filip Hrgović. Is this almost a kind of Jared Anderson-Bacoli fight where it's like, oh, fuck's sake, stick him in shark-infested waters and let's see if he swims, great. If not, then we'll see what happens.
I believe this is Frank Warren's mindset, yeah. He's a bit shit. He's not as good as I thought he was going to turn out to be.
Oh, it's a bit harsh.
I thought this guy's going to be the next AJ for me, and he's not. I need to fill this undercard up, make it better because
yes,
there ain't no decent fighters on there.
Yes.
So,
I forgot about, of course. Yeah.
So I'm going to put it to him and say, because don't forget, Hrgovic is an Eddie Hearn fighter. It's a matchroom fighter, Hrgovic.
Yes, he is. Yes.
Yeah. That's even worse. So he's doing Eddie a favour here, really. He's just gone to Adeleye. Look, silly money here. Do you want it? And Adelaye's gone, hell yeah. What? £1 million? I've never been paid more than 100 grand. I'll take that. Bang.
Is that reportedly, do we know the rough purse for this fight? Is that around?
The only reason why you would take a fight with Hrgovic is for the money. Because he ain't ready for it. And he can talk the talk, but I don't believe that he believes he's ready. If that was me, I would be telling Frank Warren, I want my rematch for both Queensbury fighters. I want my rematch with fucking Fabio Wardley. And Fabio Wardley could do with a confidence booster rematch. Like, that would be a great fight, really. But it'd be all politics, step backwards, blah, blah, blah. But he's just using Adeleye to fill the show. And if he wins, he wins. If he doesn't, who cares?
I don't know why.
I'm not paying for this one.
No, I can understand. I'm all right for I get paid early this month, so I'm all right. But I think it's $19.99 as well, which this for me it's borderline pay-per-view, but a $14.99 pay-per-view for me. And I think the problem is they thought, right, I get Nick Ball on there against Sam Goodman, decent fight. Adeleye, they needed Adeleye. Hrgovic on the card, really. I think this is partly why the matchmaking has happened, like you said, because they've needed to justify the PPV price point. It must be. We've been spoiled with great Riyadh cards, Chris, now. So it's got to be decent, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's just, I can't believe that this is on pay. I'm not paying for this fight out of principle. To me, I don't know if this is one of your questions, but this is not a pay-per-view card. Main event isn't a world title fight. It's not. There's no beef or circus or anything. It's like when AJ fought Dylan. I know it was only for a British title, but oh my God, the build-up for that fight, the rivalry, the shit from the amateurs, all that was worth it. Some things are worth pay-per-view. Like Conor Ben Eubank. We know it was shit. It's a welterweight fight and a fucking middleweight. And they both ain't great shake boxers anyway. Probably not going to be world champions. But it was a hell of a fight and it was a hell of a build-up. So we all got involved in it. This, no world title on the line. It's not a 50-50 fight. Let's be honest. Everyone's hoping that Dylan White gives Moses a good few rounds before he gets knocked out. And to me, that's not pay-per-view. How can we pay £20 to watch this and then we pay £20 to watch Bivol Beterbiev too? Same price. It weren't 25, it was 20. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, good point. I mean? Going on to Hrgovic, let's go because he's another interesting one. So, do you think, given the hype, I remember that viral statement from David A when he had a 19-year-old Hrgovic in camp and said, this guy is a future heavyweight champion. And the thing's always been with Hrgovic, and I know his dad passed away, didn't he? And there was stuff that's gone on in his personal life, and his motivation's been questioned. Certainly the talent has always been there. Has he massively underachieved given his potential? So he's 33. He's not exactly young. Do you think he's underachieved or am I being a bit harsh?
Yeah, I do think he's underachieved because it's all about boxing. It's a tough game, especially at heavyweight. But obviously heavyweights can last a little bit longer because they're bigger, powers last to go, blah, blah, blah. So they can carry on fighting. If they keep themselves, if they live the life till they're about 38, 40. But he's definitely underachieved because don't forget that in that camp with David Haye, Deontay Wilder was in that camp. And he wasn't a champion then. He was just a normal contender like Hrgovic. And out of the two of them, David Haye's like, this guy's the next level. He didn't say shit about Wilder.
Yeah.
In fact, he posted a video of him giving Wilder a boxing lesson. Do you remember that? David Haye
I do.
He posted himself fucking up Deontay Wilder, running rings around him, counterpunching him, and then said Hrgovic is going to be the next big thing. Wilder ended up becoming the champ, defending his belt for 10 years, and Hrgovic has done nothing. And they both started their careers at the same time. And I'll tell you now, Hrgovic, 10 times better boxer than Wilder. And he probably would have beat him if he would have got the chance.
Absolutely. Looking back in hindsight, I absolutely thought he was going to beat Dubois in that fight where he picked up the IBF.
I picked Hrgovic to win.
I thought, in looking back, what an opportunity for him to become the IBF champion. Can you imagine where he'd be at now? I agree with you. I feel like he's massively underachieved.
Massively.
This will only be his 19th fight, by the way, since 20. I think he turned pro about 2017. I can't remember if I actually wrote that down, but yeah, he turned pro nearly 10 years ago now, and only his 19th fight. Double question. Has he been too inactive for whatever reason? And does he actually love boxing the way someone like Usyk does?
I think he loves boxing, but he's trying to be too smart with his matchmaking. Eddie Hearn, his matchmaking isn't the greatest.
No, not always, no.
Because, one, steel sharpens steel, yeah? I get you want to protect, you're highly ranked and you're on the road for an eliminator for the IBF or whatever, like what he was fighting Dubois for. You want to protect that, so you don't want to have too hard fights, but you want to stay busy. Mark de More is not the person to fill that role. That was the beginning of the end for him.
That was awful. That's one of the worst bits of heavyweight matchmaking I've ever seen.
Mark de More is not a real boxer. That is like me getting a boxing license and going and fighting him and getting myself knocked out in one round.
I think you'd have done better.
Knocked out in a round.
Do you remember he turned around in the ring as well? He just turned around and walked away. Bizarre.
Wow. But do you know what I mean? Like that was the beginning of the end from him. He took that fight, which was a shit fight. They're not going to get anything from it. Not going to knock it off any cobwebs. Not going to get any rounds. That was a pointless fight. And after that, it was downhill. And then I think he's
got rusty, isn't he? Yeah, he's got rusty.
And where he was overconfidence against Dubois. Because obviously, you know, Dubois is a quitter. Obviously, it's all out now, so we may as well say it. And I know only fighters can say, I don't care, I'm saying it. He's a quit. That's it. So he made Dubois quit and go home, basically. He cried off in sparring. So he thought, I'll just do that again. He quit against Usyk. He quit against Joyce. Yeah. And obviously, he landed 10 clean right hands on the jaw, but he didn't realise Dubois has got a new confidence. He's got a new confidence, and in boxing, the shots that you see, even if they're hard, they don't knock you out. It's the ones that are well timed that you see at the last second or you don't see. They're the ones that knocked you out. That's why Usyk doesn't hit very hard, but he fucking knocked him down and he gets his knockouts because it's timing and shielding, cloak and dagger kind of fighting. That's why he can knock people down and he's not powerful. But Hrgovic, he doesn't really do that because he's got that European style. So he's just double jab, one right hand, double jab, right hand, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, move around, parry, like that. That's his kind of style. So he's never really getting much power.
That brings me on to my last question before the predictions, right? Because I've noticed this with Joyce and Dubois as well, and to a degree in the Zhang fight. But right, he's a big 6'6", square-jawed, Neanderthal-looking monster, Hrgovic, isn't he? Big old boy. And you've already answered this in the previous one, but for someone of that size, I expect him to hit a lot harder. And for me, I don't think he punches nearly hard enough for his size and for a heavyweight. I mean, Dubois was just taking clean right hand, as you say, after clean right hand. Joe Joyce, we know, has got a chin, but his chin's nowhere near what it was. Chisora knocked him down. You know, Zhilei Zhang sort of really took a lot of his punch resistance away, I think. So that's my question, really. Can Hrgovic punch enough at heavyweight, Chris?
Yeah, I think he can punch enough to keep you honest and win the rounds. I'd say he hits just as hard as Usyk.
But he's a lot bigger than Usyk. Do you see my point?
Yeah. Hrgovic, he's got fast hands, but you can see him coming. Bit like a heavyweight Amir Khan. Like,
he's got like a piston right hand, isn't he? I do like the way he throws it. Very kind of like he's sharp with it, isn't he? He's sharp. But that.
If he sat down on his shots, say if he went and trained with Sugar Hill or Andy Lee, learned the Kronk style, got a bit of better balance, learning how to put more power, I don't think that piston right hand would be as quick and as effective. Because he won't be throwing it as moving around, be sitting down, but he might get more knockouts. But that's not the style he wants to go with, you know. But I think, he can punch. It's just his style doesn't really throw many hooks or a body shot. His style is very jab, right hand, or double jab, right hand, triple jab, right hand, move around. It's not made for KOing people, you know?
Give me some short, sharp predictions on this fight. And also as a double question, because I'd quite like to know what you think. If Adeleye loses this, because this is deep waters for him, I think, where does he kind of go from there? So final predictions and what happens if Adeleye loses?
Okay. I'll answer the second question first, because that's easy. Yeah. If he loses, go and fight Jamie TKV for the British title. All good.
Yeah.
Nothing ventured, nothing gained. He just goes back to British level, which is where he belongs, to be honest. My prediction for the fight, well, I've got a question for you before. How much has Adeleye improved since the Fabio Wardley fight? So think about Fabio Wardley fight, Solomon Dakers, Jamie TKV. What improvements have you seen in him?
None. If anything, I think he's gone backwards, and I wouldn't say it to his face. Look, all I'm basing that on, Chris, look, I'm a fan and an analyst, same as you are. And I can only go off what I see. If I'm reviewing a movie, I go off what I'm watching, my opinion on what I'm watching. It's nothing personal, nothing against him as a fighter. Since that performance, and I'm like you, I'm very interested in the British fighters, particularly British heavyweights in particular. Watch all the undercards, all the rest of it. For me, he's absolutely doesn't throw nearly enough punches, really reactionary, really kind of inactive in the ring. And he seems to be kind of looking for that big shot, just waiting, watching, just sort of holds the lead hand out, not really throwing many jabs, looking to land that big left hook. It seems to be it's just taking a massive gamble on his power without kind of utilising much. And Adam Booth is a really esteemed and decorated trainer.
I'm exactly the same. I think he's made no improvements and is obviously got a new trainer in Adam Booth, so he's kind of like trying to learn a new style. Maybe that's what it is. Yeah. Because I feel he's
needs more time with him.
Yeah, I feel he's regressed, and I feel maybe that's due to he's trying to learn the Adam Booth style. But I don't like the Adam Booth style that he's adopted because he's too bulky. He's too muscle bound.
Big bloke. Big bloke.
It don't win you fights. My prediction, we look at the variables. Adeleye, he's a slow starter.
Yeah.
Not the fastest hands. Not the best counter puncher. All the counter punches that he was trying to land against Jamie TKV were missing. So in that Jamie TKV fight, he was being patient to be more accurate, and then missing the counters and getting countered.
Doesn't throw that many jabs
because he's not letting his hands go. He's planning on landing that counter shot. He landed it due to a mistake from the referee. That's how he got the win. He didn't land it on his skillful, good counter punching. So his counter punching, timing's all off, keeps missing. His hands are slow. His feet are slow. Everything's telegraphed with him. When he throws his big punches, he may as well give you the old spooky painting in the wall eyes before he throws a punch. It doesn't set any traps, doesn't do anything. Then with Adam Booth, works with athletic fighters like David Hay, George Grove, Josh Kelly. That's where people he's successful with. And then you've got David Adeleye, he's like quite muscle bound, with his hands down, thinking that he's Tyson Fury.
Don't get me started on that. Oh, God.
Jamie TKV just clocked him twice. One jab. It wasn't even a double jab. It was like, bang, hit him with a jab and hit him with another jab. And he's standing there like, but you're not dodging the punches. He's hitting you with them.
Yeah.
And then he's moving away. So that part of the fight, he's won. And then you're coming up to him again, trying to close it, and he's tying you up like just everything for Adeleye is wrong. And then you've got Filip Hrgovic, who starts fast, has a good chin, very, very tough. Because Dubois didn't knock him out. The doctor stopped it because of all the cuts and shit. The only person that's put Hrgovic down is Big Bang Zhang. And he knocks everyone down. He puts everyone down. So there's no shame in that. So this guy can take a shot. He's got faster hands, faster feet, more experience. Yeah, I just see, and my final prediction to get to the point is, I see Hrgovic is going to make David Adeleye quit by about round 8 or 10. Because but the only thing is, David Adeleye, he's got a puncher's chance all the way through the fight because Hrgovic does have he's got good, okay stamina, but he kind of shoots his load a bit premature ejaculations and then he has to wait for his second wind to come before he can go again. So he's not completely bad stamina. He gets too excited, throwing the right hands that are just landing, but they see him coming, so they're not doing too much damage. And then he shot his load, and he needs to have a little rest before he can go again. Plus, obviously, one more thing before we end. Hrgovic, he's got a mummy style, like George Foreman. So he has his hands out here, and he parries. Usyk does this sometimes. So he'll parry punches, and then hit you with a this little shitty little push shot. But all these little taps, while you're trying to get your punches off, he's blocking it and then slapping you. It's not good. It's demoralizing. Even though it doesn't hurt at all, it's demoralizing because you try to throw a shot, and before you've even got near his face, he slapped it down and countered you. And Hrgovic is quite good at that. And he uses like the mummy style, like Foreman, and just tap, slap. Like, so there's no way I can see him winning it.
What's the final prediction?
Hrgovic make TKO. Adelaye's going to quit after 10 rounds. He's going to quit. He's just going to get a boxing lesson.
The thing is that I've always put your neck on the lines in this game in the media. You've got to give your opinions. And these could all age like milk because, especially in heavyweight boxing, it never ceases to amaze me, the surprises where you're absolutely adamant it's going to go one way and it doesn't. I haven't been clear like this on a heavyweight fight for a long time. And I'm rooting for David Adeleye. Of course, he's the British guy. But I just think Adelaye's tailor-made for Hrgovic, Chris. I really do. Because unless he's had a really good camp and he's coming out and he's going to be more active, like you say, throwing shots, not being reactionary, trying to take the centre of the ring, nicking some early rounds, using his jab. I just don't see any of that. I think Hrgovic is going to start fast. I think he's going to win so many of the rounds. I think Adeleye will then start to get desperate. I think he'll be loading up on hooks on big shots. Yeah. And I think Hrgovic is a decent amateur. He's very experienced. And once Adeleye starts to load up on those shots and get desperate, Hrgovic should just pick him off, break him down and stop him late. Might even take his heart away and the towel comes in. So I think he stops him late. I think his heart will go out of it. I haven't had a fight this clear in my head for ages, Chris. That's how I see it. Yeah, and I could be wrong.
But I will say, he has got a puncher's chance. He could go out there. He's got serious power, but that's all he's got is a puncher's chance. So
I hope he does find something. It'd be great if he does. There we go, folks. So we both think, I feel quite strongly for some form of stoppage. Towel coming in, Adeleye takes a knee, gives up. I see something like that. TKO for you as well for a Hrgovic win. Call us out in the comments. Call us, if you see Adeleye, I'd like to know if you think Adelaye's got a better chance than what we're giving him credit for. Then let us know. But
if you think he's improved since the Fabio Wardley fight, please tell us. I want to know what improvements they are because I can't see them. And I watched all them 3 fights today, every single one, trying to make a case for him to win, and I couldn't.
Yeah, share the video, like it helps us to get the views and all that stuff.